very cold. I've never been so cold in my entire life, except for yesterday, and maybe this morning.
Well, I want to use my Superman breath to freeze the camera.
I think what struck me was how just easy they were to talk to. Like, they weren't rock stars or anything like that. Like, after their show, when we were trying to, you know, find a place to interview, they were like, hey, we're going over to our friend's condo. You guys want to just come over and we'll just hang out and you guys can, like, can talk to us there?
We need to clean this up. This is not...
It just looks like a house. It's lived in.
You want to see this? You want to see the Gatorade top out? Okay, that's fine. There.
It gives it a touch of realism.
Take one.
We're all college graduates, or we're going to graduate soon, and we're all at this point in our lives where we know what we want to do, but we're not quite sure how we're going to get there. You know, I was a film major in school, and people were like, what are you going to do with a film degree? You know, but I want to be a filmmaker, but like the music industry, it's really hard to get into.
Sure, it could be a waste of time.
Right, exactly.
You know, your parents think, oh, why do this? What are you doing? You should, you know, my mom was always telling me, like, oh, do you have, like, your shirt and your pants pressed? Because you need to get your resume ready. And I sent them this collage one time of when I had, like, purple hair and I had a mohawk, all these things that they never saw because I was afraid to go home for Christmas, you know, looking this way, because I thought they would maybe disapprove or just be like, I don't know, weirded out by it. And then I decided, okay, this is me. Let me show them who I am. And if I wanted to be a starving artist, then that was okay, and because they love me, you know, but they want the best for me.
Did you always know that that's what you wanted to do, be a musician?
I mean, probably. I mean, I was, you know, playing air guitar with a tennis racket and that kind of thing. But, you know, Kevin, do you always want to be a musician?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I never paid attention in school because I knew that I had music. Mm-hmm. Even when I didn't even really play music. Like, my family moved around a little bit, and so every time we would, you know, they'd sort of uproot the family, you know, I'd lose all my friends, and so I'd start from scratch. And the third time, we moved down to Florida, and I was just kind of like, oh, I don't really feel like meeting new people, you know. I just want to sit in my room. And it was great that I had a guitar because it was like this escape for me.
I met Kevin through some mutual friends that told me that, I mean, there's this awesome guy in town. He's got these awesome songs. You should meet him. And I somehow got a hold of a 5-song cassette of demos from Kevin, and I was blown away.
But the great thing was when we were playing guitar together, and I was teaching you my songs, and you were learning really quickly, and we'd sing and harmonize it.
We sing like Everly Brothers songs and stuff like that. We figured out that our voices matched really well. The band I'd been in previously, I used to sing, but I felt self-conscious because it just didn't happen. The other guy's voice kind of sounded like Neil Young, and then when I sang with Kevin, I was like, oh, okay, I can sing. I'm not a complete, you know, terrible musician. So Kevin's always been a very nurturing sort.
So was there like a moment when you thought you were terrible and that you weren't going to make it?
The tour we did for Satanic Panic, I remember Kevin telling me 2 weeks into the tour that he was finally kind of excited because there was finally some more people coming to our shows, and that he had considered quitting the music, you know, and like, it's like, well, you know, we were kind of working odd jobs, and it was really, you know, it's a grind, you know, after a while to work wherever you're working your odd jobs. You know, he worked at a video store, and I delivered pizza, and these weird things, you know, that you have to do. And, I mean, it wouldn't be like we wouldn't stop making music probably, but to really get on, you know, you have to play a lot of shows and go on the road trip.
Like, at first you're like, oh, we're on tour, we're sleeping on floors, and this is fun, but like, you know, after that hits like 3 or 4 years, and you're still playing to the same, you know, to like 20 people, you know, every night, and like, everyone's like scrounging up money to eat at Taco Bell or whatever, you know, like, it's not like a super glamorous lifestyle.
Have you been criticized for, you know, the music, the way you perform?
Like early on, when I was more vulnerable, like we got some really kind of nasty reviews early on, and I think it kind of made me, withdraw a bit, you know, and feel like, okay, well, maybe I don't want to make myself so vulnerable. Maybe I don't want to share these personal things with the world if, you know, there's people out there that are just going to step on my heart, you know. You know, it's kind of like those things. You know, then you have to think like, well, it's just life. you know. But it hurts, you know, because it's like, why does it have to be life? Because, you know, a lot of, like, criticism can just be so negative, and you think, like, what was the point of that? Like, what? I think everything should have, like, a positive end to it, you know.
Kind of the struggle as you get older is to try to keep your ears open to do new things. You never want to be just in one spot the entire time. You know, any true artist will hopefully, you know, just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing all the time. Because you don't want to make the same things over and over again. You might as well just make a print of it, you know. Being an artist is about trying to push yourself, and you might not always get to a point where, you know, you're someplace that people are not going to really dig what you're doing, but you have to keep doing it, and you can't be self-conscious about what the public's going to think about these things.
I think for me, on a personal level, it's like music kind of gives me validation, or it makes me feel like I have some reason for existing, you know? I feel so much better about myself if I've written a song that I think is interesting, you know? And if I haven't done it in a while, then I think, like, oh, what am I doing? Just sitting here watching ESPN and, like, you know, I'm not doing anything.
So, are there any words of advice for people like us?
Don't stress out about it. I mean, your 20s are meant for you just to be like, there's time, there's time, there's time. Just keep saying that to yourself, you know? Like, I think the early 20s are meant for exploration. And hopefully you don't ever get in sort of like a trap where you're like stuck somewhere, you know, sort of becoming this like caricature of what you think you should be or what your parents think you should be or whatever, you know.
Cool. Yeah. No, this is one of our better interviews. You know, like most of the time, they're not very thought-provoking questions, and you kind of have to like, again, please. So no, this has been nice too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we'll leave you guys alone now.
Well, party, have another beer or something.
Oh yeah.
You guys are, you know, college age. You still like to party, right?
Yeah.
You got it.